Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. This is Amanda, and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How you guys doing? We are here with a banger episode of Stranger Things. It is the season finale of season 4. This is episode 9, Piggyback. And with that, we're actually going to break this one down into 2 episodes if you hadn't heard that already. This episode is 2.5 hours long. And so in order to best detail this the way we like to, we're going to snap this into a part 1 and part 2 episode. So this will be part 1 of the episode, and we'll get to where we let off halfway through this, but you can expect it to be pretty much the halfway point of the episode.
Yeah, Eric, until looking at the description of this episode, as we kind of talked about last week, I forgot how long this episode was. I mean, a 2.5 hour long finale, and it's not even like the series finale. This is long.
This is long. And I'll tell you what, though, this essentially made this season 10 episodes. And if you count some of the other longer episodes we've had, which have been over an hour and a half, this could have been maybe an 11 or 12 episode season. They just did it in 9 episodes to keep it consistent. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad they did, because this is easily my favorite season. There's so much to cover.
Yeah. I wonder almost why they chose to make it such a long episode instead of breaking it up, because I feel like almost how we found an area where we could just sort of split it, because there are plenty of opportunities where they could have split it, left a cliffhanger, and, you know, added just another episode. So it just made me wonder why they didn't choose to do that, why they left it at 9 episodes. I don't know.
So there was definitely some discussion, I know, about that at one point, where there was some sort of play with the numbers, like it was 9 and 8, it was 43, I think, episodes all together. And like, what does that mean? Like, there were people looking for like symbolism in the numbers, trying to find something. And I just think all that stuff sometimes is a little overblown. Like, sometimes there might be an Easter egg hidden in there somewhere. Sometimes it's just kind of how it shook out. Yeah, there was definitely some well, if you take 11 and add this and do it becomes like, that's the number. Like, okay, let's maybe they were just the numbers.
Yeah, I figured it was something much simpler. Like, they had just been on a contract to only release 9 episodes, and they were like, hey, we'll do that, except one of them is going to be crazy long. Actually, a few of them were.
I think that's the thing that you can do with like a Netflix show that you can't do with NBC shows and things like that. Like, if you're on, you know, what used to be regular television, you know, standard networks, there's only so much time unless you want to bump another show completely. So that is a little bit more closed off, where if you are a streaming show, if you are a Netflix show or an HBO show, you can do whatever you want. You want to make it a 2.5 hour episode, go for it. As long as you have, you know, the funding and all the other stuff lined up, which Stranger Things certainly does at this point.
Yeah. Well, since this is such a long episode, we are going to just jump right in here. Just as a quick recap of where we left things off last week, we had the Hawkins group arming themselves to battle Vecna while his defenses are down. We saw Hopper, along with Joyce, Murray, Enzo, and Yuri as well, escaping the Russian prison, but they still have a long journey ahead of them. We also had the California group reuniting with 11 after she had that epic scene of taking down the military helicopter. And then in the end, in the van with Argyle at the wheel, they're taking off, but 11 is telling the group, guys, we have to get back to Hawkins right away.
And we're going to pick up, as we seem to do, with the Russian group first. It seems like that story kind of is a little bit more isolated, so we'll start with that one here today. And what we start with is Yuri fixing Katinka the chopper. And I will say, he's done a bang up job so far. It looks like a whole lot more like a helicopter than it did in the last episode. But as he's trying to fix it, you see him just kind of remove this one part, which I've referred to as a bolt in my notes, but it could be a spark plug or who knows what. But he pulls this one thing out, and then you see him try to rev the engine, and it's not working. And Murray and Enzo run over to try and stop him because it literally sounds like it's about to explode. And Murray and Enzo are claiming, hey, listen, like, this doesn't sound good. You know it doesn't sound good. And Yuri's coming up with all sorts of reasons as to why, no, it's going to be fine. Don't worry. But Murray and Enzo both think he's just trying to find ways to stall so he can still get paid for bringing the Americans in. He continues to push the button and try to get it started, and it doesn't start. And then we flip to Hopper and Joyce, who are inside changing into some amazing Hulk Hogan t-shirts. And this scene is kind of a long scene for time. Like, there's a bunch of quiet time where the two of them are changing and both kind of looking over each other's shoulders, like back at the other person. And, eventually Joyce goes over to Hopper and is talking to him about his prison time. And he says, it was actually okay. It gave me time to think about all the things that I've done. And then he goes into dreaming about the opportunity to have that date again. So he could have not just one, but 2 orders of breadsticks. And he's torn between getting the veal or the lasagna. And Joyce is like, are you seriously dreaming about food? And he's like, well, I've been on a diet of water, soup, moldy bread, and maggots. So, yeah, I've been dreaming about food.
Well, because she noticed, too, Eric, all the scars all over his body, which is what brought her over there initially. It's shocking. It was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah. It was a lot. But, like, I don't know if it's shocking or not, but it is a lot of scarring because he's been through it. Like, and I don't think she recognized how much he'd been through it.
Well, that's...
But he shook it off as not being that big a deal.
Yeah.
But Joyce has been imagining being back with Hopper, not for the food, but, for the relationship of it all. And this is when he says something along the lines of, well, who needs imagination for that? And they start kissing right there on the spot, only to be interrupted by the phone ringing.
Yes. He wants the Chianti, too.
He does want the Chianti. When the phone rings, he is then on the phone with an agent. They spoke through some code, and they learn that Elle and the kids are in danger. There's no way for them to possibly get to them. They can't do anything to save them. So they determine the best thing they can do, because they know it's a hive mind, is attempt to fight the particles in the Russian prison, and therefore maybe give the kids a little bit of an upper hand that they didn't have from there. And Murray is like, what are you talking about? You want to go back into the prison that we already narrowly escaped from? He's like, there's only 4 of us. He's like, no. There's only 3. Because Enzo's going to stay here and make sure that chopper gets fixed and in the sky. And Murray and Joyce and Hopper are going in. And so they find some weapons, most importantly, a flamethrower, which they heard was in the shed somewhere, and they pull that out. And they drive back to the gate, and there's nobody there at all. And they're like, well, this is maybe a little bit easier than we thought. And as they drive through, the camera pans into the gate, and we, as watchers, are privy to the information that there is a whole lot of gunfire going down, and you can hear the Demogorgon through the radio. And it's going down in the prison right now. And so they get back to the sewer that they've already crawled through, and Murray goes down and Joyce goes down and Hopper's on his way down, and then he stops halfway down because he can hear the gunfire from the prison in the distance. And he knows now that they're loose. Those Demogorgons are out, or at least that one is making a whole lot of problems. And as they get there, as they're making their way there, we then flash back to Enzo. And Enzo does the best sell job known to man ever. Because Yuri has been nothing but a pain in the butt the whole way, only looking out for Yuri. And Enzo is able to have this whole conversation where Yuri's like, what do you care if these guys live or die? Like, what are we trying to save these Americans from? And Enzo is ultimately saying, listen, you have seen this. There is this great evil that they are fighting. And this does not know borders. It is going to wipe out their country. And then what do you think it's going to do? It's going to come for us next. Like, this is an issue that we all have to deal with. And then he pleads to Yuri by talking about how he heard about this hero, Yuri, who did all these things against the Chinese. Like, where is that guy? Is that not you? And he's like, yeah, no, those stories are true. And he just kind of leaves it on Yuri to be like, you've seen it with your own eyes. You've seen these Demogorgons. Like, this is a thing. We're going to have to deal with this all together, or we're all going to die. And Enzo just kind of walks off and leaves him there. And you see Yuri pull the bolt out from his jacket. Like, what do I do with this?
Reattach it, Yuri.
Well, this is what we're stuck with, right? Like, Enzo's done the best he can. He has no longer just tried to like threaten him at gunpoint, because that's certainly not working. He has, appealed to his heroic side and left him there with it. And so we get back to Hopper entering into the prison now, and this place has been absolutely ransacked. The Mind Flayer is out. All the tanks are empty. So we are now left with nothing. They're thinking they can go fight those particles. They're out. And there are no Demogorgons in these tanks to fight. They're all out. They're free. So they're looking through all these people and places, and there is this one guard that is still breathing barely. And Murray starts talking to him in Russian, and he learns that the Russians, like the gunfire, broke the tanks. And when the tanks broke, all the monsters became alive. And then he says the shadow went into them. And then Murray's question is, into who? And the guy dies. And I think Murray's the one who puts it together and goes, no, the shadow is them. Like, the shadow is controlling them, the Demogorgons. So all these Demogorgons now are like infused with the Mind Flayer, and they are running ruckshot all over this prison. And so they tried to come up with this plan, which is very interesting because we've already seen Demogorgons jump out of this pit. But the plan is to get them into the pit and lock the door behind them, and then flambe them, essentially, with the flamethrower from the top shelf. And so Murray is going to have the flamethrower up top, and Joyce is going to be on door control for the jail. And Hopper is going to be the bait, and he's going to sit in there and get them in there. And he's like, listen, they're a hive mind. We only need to get one. We get one, we get them all. And then that's how this all goes down. And he's like, I'm going to die at some point, but I'm not going to die today. And this is when Joyce says, well, I'm not having another funeral, which I found an appropriate line.
Yeah.
And so Hop and Joyce start looking around, and essentially they find this one Demogorgon, the smaller Demogorgon, in the laundry room, which is not far from where they are, and it's all by itself. And so they were like, this is the target. This is the one. And by the end of this, Hopper is creeping his way into this laundry room, seeing this one Demogorgon, whistling for it, attracting it, and then sprinting out and making his way back towards the pit. And this is where we will stop the Russian part of this story.
Yeah. And Eric, there was a moment earlier. When was it? Oh, when Hopper took that phone call, I just had a note that she also mentioned the doc was indisposed.
Yes.
Meaning Dr. Owens, and he's with the girl, and the girl went to fight an evil in Hawkins, and then they all went off grid. And guess what? They're also with Joyce's kids. So now they know kind of like where the kids are at too, which I think kind of fueled this this energy to like get all this figured out now. Right?
Yeah, they did learn all of that. And it's important. Like I found it very interesting that they chose, instead of how do we get out of here faster, like let's go back and try and help them the best way we can, because we know
from
the
where
hive
we are.
mind.
Yeah,
I don't know that if I was in the mindset of Hopper and Joyce and them at that moment, my thought would have been go back in. But that is not a horrible decision. Like, because you know it's hive-minded, that is the only thing you can do. It does make sense.
It's kind of like what we'll end up seeing with Elle is how it's like she fights from where she's at. It's like they all kind of take the battle from where they're currently located, and because they know they're not going to get back in time. This is happening right now. And I also love how Joyce and Hopper were wearing matching jackets. They were like these red, white, and blue coats.
They got some. they got some like I suppose they would have been like the Russian colors from like an Olympic jacket is kind of how it looked to me. Like, but it also looked very American because it's red, white, and blue.
Look American.
Well, but it's the same colors. So like,
yeah.
It is. True. It is what it is. I just loved the Hulk Hogan t-shirts. But again, remember, don't forget, they're also in an area of supplies that Yuri has brought in from America. He's bringing like Jif peanut butter in and all that stuff. So it could have been an American like jacket. But it could have been a Russian one too. I don't really know. I don't think I saw a flag on it at any point, because I was looking for it at one point and I never saw one. But it was red, white, and blue. But they had the Hulk Hogan shirts on too, which I thought was awesome.
And you also had a moment where Hopper was going to light a Camel cigarette. So I feel like, this was definitely the American zone that they were in.
That's what I kind of took from it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to move from Russia on to the California section now. You know what? Before we do, let me just say this. I thought the Russian section for this episode through this point, because we're only halfway through, this was kind of like the slow down, catch your breath section of the episode, because they had a lot of slower moving points. Joyce and Hopper, there was a lot of time just with them changing and looks being exchanged and not seeing each other looking. And, you know, the conversation with Yuri and Enzo just kind of was like a slower approach from Enzo. And then when they're going around the prison even, it's more methodical and slow paced. There was definitely, I think, a design to slow down this area of the episode so that you're not breakneck pace the whole way, because there are other spots that are not slow at all.
No, that's true. And I would say this first half, how we kind of broke up the finale as a whole, is we'll get into some more development on, but a lot of it is all the group's planning, right? So it's all the setup and phase of what's going to happen. The second part of our finale is definitely going to be like nonstop action of what the group is doing.
Yeah. The most execution. The most execution from the Russian side is we finally get Hopper looking at that one Demogorgon and whistles and then takes off running. And that's where we'll see how he does from there.
Oh my gosh, that was brutal where he walked in and saw the Demogorgon just eating that guy. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm having flashes of Bob.
So was Joyce.
Know.
So we move to California now, and this is where, remember, we've been left off with Elle saying, we need to get back to Hawkins tonight. And they're like, that's just not a feasible thing. Like, we don't have that sort of time travel available to us. So Jonathan is on a payphone outside a gas station, and he is trying to find a way home. He's asking for bus seats, trying to find one last ticket, trying to plead, saying that there's a dying family member and we just need one seat for this person to be able to get back. And it does not appear as though there's anything that's possible going on for this. And Elle starts kind of wandering around, and she looks up at this billboard of the Grand Canyon, and she starts having flashbacks with this about her mom, about Billy, about a lot of other just moments that she's had throughout this series. And she says, we don't need to go back. She comes to the conclusion that we can do this from here. I can go into Max's mind from here, from California, and fight Vecna, who will also be in Max's mind. So the idea that Vecna will be in Max's mind, Elle can then go into Max's mind from California, and then as they are both in her mind, they can fight it out there, which Argyle is like, sweet, like mind fight. Like, he's super pumped for this whole thing. Although, let me pause here. And I wrote this because I wasn't sure. How does Elle know that Vecna is going into Max's mind?
Because she overheard their plan. When she went into
she was listening to the group's conversation.
Space,
yes,
she was listening to their conversation. And she's like, "Whoa,
I must be missing something." I'm like, "How does she know that that's a thing?" That's right.
Yes,
she was listening to the gang's conversation. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So they decide, okay, well, they can do this, but we need to get like a tank ready. How do we don't have the salt, but Argyle has got the salt. He's like, oh, how much? And he starts like measuring her up. He's like, yeah, we can make this work. So they head
How much salt you need, my dudes?
They head to the local Surfer Boy Pizza. And I keep saying they're in California. They're not. I forget. I think they're in Nevada at this point, but they're out there.
At this point, yes. Yeah.
And so they find, like, because remember, Surfer Boy Pizza has now expanded all the way out. He's like, oh man, I can't believe they're out here. Yeah. So he goes to the local Surfer Boy Pizza, and he has this conversation with the employee there, which is, I don't even know how to describe this, but the two of them, it's like watching two people speak their own language of
stoner
high
code.
Surfer Boy code.
Yeah.
And they basically are able to convince, Jonathan actually steps in because he's partial to this language as well, steps in and he's like, how about we entice you? We're not asking for you to help. You can just like have this like marijuana and head on
Purple
out the
palm
door.
Tree delight.
There you go. And he's like, oh man, he's so excited about this. So he gets that. He walks out the door. Jonathan flips the sign to say closed. And the rest of them start building the tank. And the tank is going to be this pizza dough freezer. And they basically start taking all the pizza out of it. Elle will fit in the freezer. It's big enough. And they've got a ton of salt at this pizza place, apparently. So they're starting to get the pizza dough freezer prepped while Argyle starts making a pizza. In the meantime, Mike is working on making sensory glasses, which always remind me of How I Met Your Mother.
Ted
And,
Mosby.
you know, they started having this conversation between the two of them where she's saying, Mike, I missed you. And Mike says, I just wanted to say that. And then Argyle comes in with the pizza with pineapple on it, which Mike is completely disgusted by. And he's like, hey, try before you deny. And Elle has a bite of it and she thinks it is absolutely delicious. And then there is this fun scene where Argyle and Eleven are trying to force Mike to eat pineapple pizza, which, by the way, I'm fully on board with. I don't know about you. It's awesome. Yeah. You need to try it if you haven't.
I love pineapple on pizza. I knew that you were a fan as well. I remember
absolutely
that from when we were kids.
No question.
I hesitated at first, but I tried it and I'm like, this is awesome.
No, it works.
Go for it.
I understand. I understand it thinking like, oh no, this doesn't work. Yeah, no, it does though. So give it a taste. Anyway.
Yeah.
While they're having this fight over the pizza, Will is watching while stirring the salt and getting the tank prepped. And he's watching from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? This is a really great moment again for Will. Because Jonathan is watching this all happen. And he now has Will one-on-one. And uses his time as best he can possibly use it, right? He sits there and he starts distracting Will with this memory about having a Lego shoved way up his nose and that he had to come to Jonathan. Jonathan had to get tweezers and get the Lego out. And he says, listen, you used to come to me for help and you don't do that anymore. And he's like, I know, I've been distant. And Will's like, or stoned. And he's like, yeah. Distant. He's like, but that's just me hiding from my own problems. I miss talking to you. And I think now at this age with all that's going on too, we need to be talking to each other more than ever. And I don't want you to forget that I'm here and I love you no matter what. That will never change. Nothing you can say to me will change that. And Will is getting very emotional at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's looking for someone to say that. And the two of them hug. And at this point then, the tub is ready. And it's time. And they go and get Elle into the tank. They put the glasses on her. And the power starts, the electric in the building starts blinking, which Argyle is blown away by. And we will stop this story right here.
Yeah. And Eric, do you think that was also like a moment of recognition, like Jonathan basically telling Will that, like, listen, like, you don't have to say it, like, I accept you for who you are. Like,
absolutely.
It's like him just getting him off the hook a little bit. Like, you don't need to come out to me, but like, I love you. Like, I love you no matter what. Like, you don't, like, I'm just here. It doesn't matter.
Like, he knows. I don't know if Will knows he knows.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's quite like that because I don't know that Will knows that he knows, but he knows that he knows.
Yeah, right. I feel like the exchange of eye contact made me feel, and maybe this is just my own take from it, obviously, but I felt like Will knew that Jonathan knew without him having to say it out loud. I don't know, but either way, just the fact that he put his affirmation out there, no matter what. Yeah,
there is some gray area on whether or not I think Will knows that Jonathan knows.
Yeah,
Jonathan knows. Jonathan is in the know. He gets it. He sees it. Yeah. He understands what's going on. And so by him saying what he said here at the tank, he is opening the door for Will to be emotionally available to him for anything. And Will is incredibly appreciative of that. Now, that doesn't mean he's stepping through the doorway today, nor does it mean that Will knows that Jonathan knows, but just him hearing that he has someone in his life who will love him unconditionally no matter what. Yeah. That's not his mom.
Yes, right.
Because Joyce is so overprotective of Will that it doesn't count. It needs to be someone else. And so Jonathan being that person is awesome. And taking this opportunity to do that. I mean, they've even done little cuts. Like, did you notice in the last episode when the chopper came down and 11 was there and Mike ran over to 11 and the two of them stood up? They framed Will between them.
Yes.
But it was blurry.
Yes.
Like they never did the like clear in transition like that you've seen in a million shows before where it's like these two and then he's standing in between.
Right.
But it was framed exactly that way. And it's not a crystal clear picture because it's not that way. Because he's not in between them. Because neither of them are going to think about it.
Yes, right. It was almost like blurry just because that's
it's blurry
their interpretation
on purpose.
Of how...
They don't see, he's not even a factor between the two of them, but he's a factor in his own mind between them.
Of course. Yeah, that is really cool. And I also like that they had 11 also have this really great connection with Will again, too.
Yes.
Like when she ran to him after. So it's like, yeah, they don't see Will as being in between them, but like they have their own connection as well. So, yeah, that was really great for sure. I know I really just appreciate that emotion coming out and just that unconditional love, especially because as we know, Lonnie is not going to be there for Will. He doesn't have his dad.
Oh my God. Life. Are we really going back to Lonnie at this point?
Listen, the fact
we haven't talked about Lonnie in 3 seasons.
A dad in their life though. I mean, that I feel like makes Jonathan, like him saying that he will be there for him unconditionally, that much more important, right? Because he doesn't have another male figure in his life. And so having his older brother there is just that much more important. So yes, I am going back to Lonnie. Because Lonnie, my God. We hate you.
You hate Lonnie.
I mean, really though, like talk about like not having a solid father figure in your life can be devastating. It really can.
Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, it can be.
Yeah,
it can be for sure.
There are studies, like a lot of evidence. Back to like drug use and just like really like emotional issues and just not having a dad. It's we're very fortunate.
As someone who works in education, I can tell you that those studies are all factual. But I will tell you, also, that in this construct of the television show that we are watching, I feel as though with all the other trauma that they've dealt with, that Lonnie is second rate at this point.
Okay, that's fair. Right. He has the neck tingles and he's dealing with a mind flayer. So
listen,
Lonnie,
yeah, we're not worried about Lonnie when we've got to deal with Vecna and the mind flayer, okay? Like
sadly
Lonnie,
though, daddy issues will still creep up. Yeah.
We will deal with that later when it's all said and done. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to pick up with the RV crew in Hawkins, where Nancy is reviewing these steps. And also, Eric, I immediately noted, where did Dustin get this jacket made of grass? Because that was great. It's like
I assume it must have been made it in the field, but I don't know. Maybe they just had one. Like, who knows? Like, they're all doing cosplay and stuff like that. Like, maybe Max had
true.
One.
Like a Vietnam cosplay? I don't know. That's what this seemed like. Or maybe he got it in that store where they bought all the guns.
It's very plausible. Because it looks like some sort of camo situation.
It was very hardcore. But the steps are that they're going to meet Erica at the playground. She's going to signal to Max and Lucas. Then Max baits Vecna and he will go in his trance. Then we're going to have Eddie and Dustin drawing the bats away. And then they're going to flambe Vecna. Is going to be Robin and Nancy and Steve. So this is the 4-step plan. No one deviates from the plan no matter what. So Nancy is laying down the rules.
Last words.
Right. Yes. So we all know, obviously, deviation is going to happen. So they all go to Eddie's trailer and then climb into the upside down. We have Steve goes first, then Nancy, then Eddie, Robin, and Dustin. And Steve is like, if things go south, abort. Don't try to be heroes. He's saying this to Eddie and Dustin as they're going off on their mission. And Dustin is all, don't worry, you can be the hero, Steve. And Eddie tells Steve,
he's like, we're not heroes. Like, look at us. No. We're the decoys.
Yeah.
And then he does say to him, wait, Steve, make him pay.
Make him pay. Yes. Because he's like, he knows all of this stuff that's gone down. Like, he wants him to get that guy. So then he is off. Then Steve is off with Robin and Nancy in the other direction. But back in the Creel house, we then see Max in the attic.
But Lucas, by the way, I have to say, I know I don't want to cut you off too much here, but we have this situation that we've talked about in this show a lot where like the adults usually put the kids and say, hey, you guys stay here. We'll go take care of this. They've done it every single season. Now, the adults are nowhere to be found this year.
No,
but I found the pairings here to be important because who gets to be the heroes is the girls. The girls and Steve. Yeah. The guys sit on the... Hey, you're the decoys, boys.
Yes,
don't worry.
That's right.
These two girls are going to rock up and take care of business.
Well, that's right. Yes.
And so I found that the kids do not adhere to the standard, roles, I suppose, as much as, or traditional roles, I should say.
Yeah.
Not standard.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. And it's interesting, actually, now
but
that
the
you
parents
put it that
do.
way. Because, like, even you would think, but it's not like he could do that much. It's like thinking about the attic scene. And I think they obviously paired them this way for the fight scene that's to come in the attic. But you almost would have thought they would have had Steve or Nancy like up there with them, because that was a pretty pivotal moment. I mean, but you couldn't really do anything either. Like, Lucas was there with Max, but like, it's not like he could, once she's in her trance, like, not a whole lot you can do.
I don't think they are as concerned about that being a dangerous spot. But it does turn into one, doesn't it?
It becomes one. So,
it sure does.
Right. Yeah, so we have them kind of
because, like, where's the danger? The danger's not there. Like,
exactly.
She's just potentially levitating.
It's not supposed to be there, right? Because we have Max in the attic, Lucas is one floor down, Erica is in the bottom floor. They're kind of looking around with these, what I called mosquito lamps. They looked like bug zappers.
They do look like bug zappers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have referred to them as.
Yeah, and they start kind of humming, and they're now only communicating through written word, right? Like, they have these notepads, and they're kind of scrawling their notes to each other there, but they're not making a sound. And Erica writes, phase 1, and then she is off to the playground. And that is when the dude from the town hall, who's like, who's with me? Like, after Jason gave his speech, he had like the trucker hat on, and he kind of casually walks by with his dog and sees Erica climbing in to the, I don't even know what that was, like a rocket ship kind of climbing.
I'm gonna call it a jungle gym situation.
Yeah. And he sees her and then takes note that in the Creel house, there are these blue lights. So he could see that through the windows. And then we flash to this scene where Jason is just, shooting a gun into, just taking some practice shots. And his friend runs up, his friend with the trucker hat, and saying, hey, you know the murder house? Because he has a lead. And it's like, oh, man. So now
Yeah,
Jason
he didn't want to send his other friend. He wanted to go on this. Like, he was like, you want to go on this one.
Right. Yes, because he's kind of like blows him off initially. And let me just say here, I also took note, Jason looks like he hasn't slept in about a week at this point. Like, he looks strung out, right? Like, he is all crazy-eyed. Like, he's sweating. Like, yeah, he has not slept.
It doesn't appear as though he's slept since the town meeting.
No. And, yeah, so then we see Dustin and Eddie barricading Eddie's trailer, building in some armor there. And Eddie's saying, what do you say, Henderson? Are you ready for the most metal concert in the history of the world? Because he grabs his guitar. When they went inside, they're kind of like, wow, she is meant for the other side, because I guess she looked even better in the upside down than she did on the right side up. And Robin is running off as well when they're in the woods, because you have this scene where you see Robin and Steve and Nancy just kind of in the woods, and she's like, I am getting kind of nervous that we're heading in the wrong direction, so I'm just gonna race ahead and make sure that we're good. And so she just kind of runs off nervously into the woods. I'm like, oh my god, guys, like, just, what?
This can't be part of the plan. Apart. We're deviating from the plan. We're just going to let Robin run blindly off into the sunset. Like,
and I'm like, and Nancy, you're there. And what is happening here? This is already gone.
This became like, okay, we want Nancy and Steve to have a moment together. How do we get Robin out of this picture? And so we're just going to have her run straight off into nothing. I felt like this was a weak moment of writing in this episode.
Crazy. Yes. And then you have Steve telling kind of Nancy the story about how he once crawled himself backwards down the stairs when he was a baby, hit his head really hard, and he's really trying to learn from his mistakes. And he's saying thank you for really giving him the biggest thump in his head about 2 years ago, and that it changed his life. And she's kind of like, well, why are you saying thank you? And yeah, he's really just saying, you know, maybe things could have even worked out between us if, you know, things had been different. Like, maybe if someone else gave me that thump over the head, then you and I could have worked out. Like, he would have already learned that lesson. And then by the time he met Nancy, he would have been fine, right? And, you know, he's saying that dream that I told you about with the 5 or 6 kids, well, it's all true, but I left out this important part where you were there, Nancy. You've always been there. It reminds me of It's Always Been You, Rach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve is trying to pull a Ross to Rachel moment here. I don't know, but Nancy's sort of looking at him, and she starts almost mouthing like, "Ay!" And then Robin rolls up, and she's back in the picture, and she's like, "Hey, guys, we weren't going in the wrong direction after all." She found the house. So that's when they're all back together. And I think Steve almost got the sense too, and he's sort of like, all right, you know, Saved by the Bell. Let's see what Robin has going on here. Yeah.
I think for Steve, it was important to put that out into the world.
Yes.
It is now up to Nancy to do what she wants to do with that information.
Yeah.
And he said his piece. And as someone who has claimed to make all this growth, he will now respect her opportunity to make a decision.
That's right. Yes.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. Yeah. And hopefully. We'll see. So then they kind of come out of the other side of the woods, and there's the Creel house in this distance, and they can see the glow from the gymnasium, and they know it's Erica, right? Who's in that rocket looking thing, climby thing. Then we're back with Max and Lucas, and they're writing these notes back and forth. So again, Eric, kind of what you mentioned about your section with Joyce and Hopper, where it was all this like kind of build up. There were slower moments. That's what we're really seeing in here too, as well, with like Nancy and Steve, and now here with Max and Lucas, where Max is saying, "I'm glad that you're here to Lucas on these notes, and he's writing back, me too. And
well, they're
she's
both
asking,
sitting there staring at each other in silence. Like,
yes,
you can't say anything, and they're just both looking at each other. And she breaks the silence by not breaking the silence, but by writing on the note card just hi, and then he writes back hi. And then they continue from there.
Yes. And he's asking movie Friday. And hey, and Max then draws this little sketch of like two people holding hands, and I think someone holding a gift of some kind. It was cute. Like a little fence in the background.
The fence to me looked like movie seats.
Maybe it was popcorn. It wasn't a gift. It was popcorn.
No. Seats at a movie. Yeah, seats at a movie theater with them sitting holding hands with popcorn. That's how I took it.
I'm like, what's with the present? I thought it was like a bow.
Or
it was popcorn.
Because he asked her to the movies, and then you think she draws back a picture of getting a gift by a fence? What is this? Come on. What are we doing here?
Hey, the important takeaway is there were two kids holding hands, okay?
That is the most important piece of that.
I got that part.
We are now on the road to Max and Lucas being back together again, which is really the love story that doesn't get told enough.
I know. Well, but then they are caught off guard because they are seeing flashlights. So luckily they are not googly-eyed enough in the zone where they're still being able to see out of their peripheral vision, and Erica is flashing that flashlight. So Max turns her music off because she's been playing the Running Up That Hill song.
It's phase 2 now.
Yes, in her headphones, because she's saying, oh, did they call out phase?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
On the card. She wrote it, phase 2.
Oh, she wrote phase 2. Thank you. Yes. So.
Or he did. One of them did.
Someone did. Yes. And Max is turning off her music and yelling, hey, asshole, I'm here. No more music, no more games. Because they had kind of gone downstairs at that point, too. And looking at those lamps that they have kind of spread around, she's asking, do you hear me? What are you waiting for? Do you want me or not? And then the kind of the humming and the flashing of the light transfers onto the lantern that she's holding. So she's trying to follow it, and it's bringing her back up the stairs, right? And that's really where I kind of then pivot off into this next portion, which really is going to bring what's going on with what Eric was talking about with 11 in the tank. It's going to combine that story now with what's happening with the Hawkins group as well. So Max, she's now thinking that her plan is not working, right? Like, they're back in the attic. She followed the lantern up there, but nothing's happening. And she's saying that she starts, I think, trying to get more in her emotions, right? Like, she starts to try to draw Vecna in by the negativity, because she knows that is what he's latching onto. So it's possible that it's like he's realizing she's all like being lovey-dovey with Lucas, like, I can't get in here, like, this is not my open door. So she starts talking about Billy and how, yeah, you know what? There was a piece of me, you saw the honest truth. There was a piece of me that did want him to die, because guess what? He made my life a living hell every chance he got. So sometimes I did pray that something would happen to him. I'd imagine him dying in that stupid car of his so he could be out of my life forever. And this is where we see 11 is listening in on this. And you can see her watching intently, like her eyes are moving behind her eyelids. And she's also then watching in the black space, and you see her eyes well up. And I'm almost actually thinking that when I'm watching this, I'm thinking she is connecting with Max because she thought of Papa in this way, right? It's like, as much as part of her had this attachment to him, she wanted him gone because he made her life hell. I just kind of felt like you could draw this connection there.
Interesting. I did not go that route with it. I thought more that she was more upset that she had not recognized this in Max. Like, I think Lucas kind of felt that way too, where it's one of those like, how did I not see this? Like, I should have known that my friend was going through all these things and I didn't, and that's not okay. And I should have been there more openly or more willing to listen or hear these things when she needed me the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. I like that too. And Max is saying to Vecna that she wants him to take her away, to disappear. And this is where you see this shift, because Eric, what you just said, it's like that's her worst nightmare too, is that Lucas would hear her say this and then immediately just judge her and say what he then ends up saying. Well, what she sees coming out of Lucas's mouth, which is not really Lucas, but she turns and sees Lucas saying, "Is that all true? Normal people don't fantasize about killing other people. I thought you were getting better, but maybe it's for the best that he takes you." And it's like, oh no, this is Vecna. And she doesn't even recognize it at first either. It's just because it obviously, it sounds like it's Lucas's voice. It's Lucas's
very
body,
realistic.
you know? Yes. And it all happened so fast. Like there was no other signal that she transitioned into this state. So then you see 11 saying he has her, right? So she's kind of conveying to the group, she's still kind of in that halfway state, so she can still speak to Mike and to the others in the pizza shop. And Max then hits Lucas over the head because she sees his eyes turn all like cloudy. She knows it's really Vecna. And 11 is trying to reassure Max like through the black space. And that's when the boys also in the pizza shop are seeing the lights go crazy even more around 11 in the tank. And 11 is channeling all of her memories of Max. So she's kind of touching Max and trying to get into her thoughts as well. And that's when 11 is able to transport into one of her memories as a child in I'm calling it a skate park, but really it's like
that's what
it's like a ravine. It's almost like like where with the kids have converted into a skate park.
Yeah, it's oh gosh.
It's like
we don't really have these
where they do the drag racing.
Yeah, we don't have these in Ohio or in New Hampshire. They seem like more West Coast development things, like part of the structure, some sort of like waterway that is run dry at this moment, but like they are able to just use the sides as skateboard ramps. But you're right. It's in Greece where they did the drag race. They have them, I know, in like Grand Theft Auto, like you can like run through them and drive through them and stuff. There's all sorts of different attachments to them. But I've never actually seen one in person because I've never been out to California.
Yeah, I have, but I was in San Francisco. I saw the redwoods. But
there you go. That's different.
Okay. So anyway, so now though we are in phase 3 because Eddie starts playing guitar like crazy on the roof, and he is playing Obey Your Master. I don't know if that's actually the title of the song. I know that that's one of the lyrics. Master of Puppets. Thank you. Metallica. Yep. On the roof of this of his trailer, and he's saying Chrissy,
which is, by the way, like a super appropriate song.
It's awesome
for this.
Yes.
No. Yes. Aside from, but like the title Master of Puppets.
So true. Yes,
is
that's what
like,
Vecna's trying to be.
That's what he's doing. Yes.
Yes. Oh, this is like Vecna's song, really.
This is like Vecna's theme song. Yeah.
Yes. And he's saying, Chrissy, this is for you. And he just starts rocking out like crazy. And they are drawing in all the bats. And Dustin is just like here for this, right? And we also see Jason and his friend chasing down Erica, chasing down this small child.
Jason's not chasing. The friend is chasing.
Because Jason broke off.
Jason,
they were both there at first, and then
Jason and the friend show up. Erica gets chased by the friend because Jason's going into the house.
He's going into the house. Oh, yeah, so I think his friend was probably going to get more information from Erica as to
that
what
was
she
the
was
idea.
up to.
Like, don't let her go, but who's inside?
Yeah. Right. And it's like, really, dude, like, you're going to tackle this small girl, like, and hold her. Like, this is just horrible. But also while you're seeing, him chase down Erica, you're also seeing Vecna chasing down Max through the house, because now you're seeing him in his full body in the house, and Eddie is continuing to play his song. You're just getting these really quick flashes of these moments where Max is also remembering then that scene with Billy in the sauna, which was really cool that they brought back that moment. And you're seeing his face through the glass where he's punching through, and you're also seeing Erica get tackled, and Eddie's playing his song. It's working, right? All the bats are still coming in, and Dustin is counting down how long they have, because they don't want to get attacked by these bats. They're seeing the swarm coming from a distance, and he's like, guys, we only have about 3 more seconds to play here. Max is then waking up on the dance floor. So she's brought back because she's trying to attach herself to happier memories, right? And she is brought back to where they had that dance where I believe, is that where she... And in the snowball, is that where she and Lucas had their first kiss, I think?
Yes.
If I'm not... Yes, yeah. Yep. So she's back there, and Dustin and Eddie make it right back inside the trailer just before the bats attack. They had this gate that they set up, and they were able to close it right before the first bat made its way through. And they're saying this is the most metal ever. Loving that. So then we're back with Steve, where he is opening the door to the Creel house. So now they've made it there from the upside down.
They are into phase 3 at this point, because
yes.
The bats have been lured away.
Yes, exactly. Because remember, they also saw what they knew was Erica in the playground, but when they open the door, there are tentacles just everywhere, and they can barely walk through. And Robin is self-admittedly like a clumsy person, and so she's like, really nervous about this situation. I would be too, girl. Like, this is not good.
And that was something they pointed out when Nancy and Steve were walking in the woods, like, oh man, she's so clumsy. She's going to like fall and like hit herself somewhere. Cause you know that, like, okay, they've brought this up twice. Like, she's going to ruin this.
Oh, something's going to go down, but it is not her. I mean, we'll see shortly. It gets them all. So we have 11, then finding what I refer to as Mini Max here in the skate park. Because remember, she's back in that Max memory, but she can't see 11. Not that if she could, it wouldn't mean anything because she's Mini Max. So she's conveying this though to the guys in the pizza shop, and Will is asking if she sees Vecna or the Mind Flayer, and she's like, no, it's nothing like that. There's nothing that even resembles the upside down here. But she thinks that she can see another memory, because when she looks up, she sees like the DJ table from the dance.
Yeah. That's
just like up on this little bridge. And she's like, there's a memory within the memory. This is getting very, what was that movie?
Inception.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Eric. Inception. This is very Inception right in this moment. And because we're in a dream within a dream. And so Max is... we're back with Max in the dance hall then, where she starts getting startled because all of these balloons start popping around her, and it is like filled with either black sludge or blood, maybe.
I'm calling it blood.
Yeah, that was dark red, I think. So the music then turns all old-timey. It goes from like being like their music that was probably playing at the dance to... Why is creepy old-timey music always in scary movies?
Was it the song that played at Henry's, like, on the radio? I feel like it was.
I think you're right, Eric. This is like a childhood song.
Was it like Dream a Little Dream for Me? Was that the song that played? I feel like it was. Maybe it wasn't, but it felt like, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. I would have to go.
I didn't write down the song and the song title, but it felt like it was connected to the early Henry storyline.
It must have been. Well, back with 11 in the Dream Within a Dream, because she's approaching the table, and as she does, on Max's side, we're kind of, again, these are quick flashes between both moments because everything is just turning black in that dance hall for Max. And 11 is also on her side looking over and seeing just red lightning in the distance. So a moment ago where she was telling the boys there's no signs of the upside down, well, now there is. Like, now that you're getting the red lightning, the dark looming cloud, like, this is not good. And Lucas, back with Lucas, he is panicking because now we're seeing what he's seeing, which is obviously Max just sitting there in her trance, and he's starting to flashing his flashlight, but trying to get Erica's attention. Nothing is happening, and he's then hearing footsteps. And he's like, what the heck? Yeah, it's Jason. He's in the house. He is appearing in the staircase, and he looks insane. So I mentioned earlier, it looks like he hasn't slept for however long this has been. I mean, he has not slept. His eyes are crazy, and he has a gun. So he's pulling the gun on Lucas and telling him to turn around and empty his pockets. He's saying, wake her up, and I won't hurt you. And he's like, listen, if I wake her up too soon, we all will die. And that's when he says, well, I'm going to kill you then. I'm going to shoot you. And it is just, it's like, no, moment. If you don't wake her up, you will die. It's like,
right. If I wake her up too soon, we all die. But if I don't wake her up, then you die. Like, that's how this is going to go. You're going to die.
Right.
Oh, and this is intense Eddie, for Lucas.
It is very intense. And then you're with Eddie and Dustin, and they are back to back inside of Eddie's trailer, and they are just hearing bats dive bombing this trailer. And they're on the roof. No kidding. And then they look up and notice,
which, by the way, why did they not like barricade the roof? They barricaded all the walls, but they didn't put anything on the roof. I don't understand it.
Eric, I don't know. I guess to have this moment, I don't know, because if they had barricaded the roof, this would not have been an issue, because there is this like vent in the ceiling. And it almost looked like where maybe like a smoke alarm would go or something, this little circle. And they're like, do you think they could get in through there? Yeah, they can get in through there.
Yes.
And you just see one of these like insane, like vampire bat looking things just popping its head through, and they just start stabbing it like crazy. Then we're back with Steve and Robin and Nancy making their way up these stairs that are just coated in these tentacles. And Robin is then attacked first by one of these tentacles. I mean, honestly, she didn't even trip. She was just standing there, and this thing then
there was like an earthquake situation that shook the area, and it feels like maybe one of them bumped into one.
Yes,
but it doesn't.
Her.
But they didn't step on him.
No, and then it grabbed Steve really quickly after, and then Nancy. So it's like, yeah, it got Robin first, but they quickly got all of them, and they are then pinned against the wall, and the tentacles are going around all of their necks too, so they are being choked at this point. And then we're back with Dustin and Eddie, where we see more bats getting through, and Eddie is then, you know what? I'm going to resolve this. He gets a chair and gets that shield that he made with the nails poking through it and just covers it over the vent, and it stops it. And for a moment they're like, sweet, we did it. Great. We stopped it. And Dustin's like, you don't have any more of those in this trailer, do you? And he's like, yeah, there is one in the back room. So they rush off to the back room, and guess what? They are already getting through that vent, and they just start filling that room, and they slam this one door shut, but it is just this normal wooden door. This is not a steel door. And so you just see them, the whole door is just starting to get busted through. They only have moments before this whole place would be filled. So Dustin goes through the gate into the real world. So he's climbing up that rope and he lands on the other side, but Eddie does not follow. He's like, he's not going to run from this. I have a plan. And that is when we just see Eddie cutting the blanket rope, and he's saying he is off to buy more time for them. And you just see him running out of the trailer, getting on his bike, and all the bats chasing him. And Dustin is just screaming, but he has no way back at this point. At least he doesn't think so. And that's where we're going to end this first part of the finale. That was a good one.
I mean, it's at this point that things are looking grim, because you have Hopper being chased by a Demogorgon. You've got Max being chased by Vecna. Lucas is having a hard time defending Max, right? The boys in California are just watching 11, but we haven't actually seen her do anything yet. We don't know if that plan's going to be successful. Nancy, Steve, and Robin are all tied up in vines. Eddie's on a bike trying to buy more time. Dustin's on the other side. Eric has been tackled. It's a bad look for the whole team right now.
Deviations have occurred.
Yes, the plan is not going to plan. All right, so now we're going to jump in with our IMDb rating segment of our podcast, but we're going to do this a little bit differently since this is only half of an episode. What we're going to do is we're going to save our ratings for the part 2. That way we judge this episode in full, not just in a part. But what we'll do here, instead of also listing our favorite and least favorite characters, which we always do at this time, we're going to kind of highlight some options. Like, who do you have as a potential favorite character or least favorite character this far in? And we'll get to see, will that change as we watch and discuss the second half? So, Amanda, do you have some people that you've got your eye on for one of these?
Well, Jason's not looking too good.
Yeah, of course.
Jason is looking extra insane. Like, I know I've picked him as my least favorite in the past, and so have you. But I mean, this is like, wow. I mean, not only is he looking insane, but he's got a gun now. This is not good. And he's holding it to our bestie Lucas. So this is not.
We like Lucas.
Yeah, this is not cool. And he just does not. He does not have the full picture here, obviously. But there's no time for that. It's not good. So I'm not liking Jason here at all. Is there someone that's sticking out to you as being your least favorite?
Well, Jason, it's hard right now not to think that Jason could be a front runner for my least favorite character. He certainly could be. I think there's also at this moment a possibility that I'm still not exactly sure where Yuri will go and what decisions Yuri will make with his situation.
True.
So there's definitely something there. I will also throw Robin's name into the mix because as I've seen thus far, she has just run away from the crowd for no reason whatsoever, and then also is the first one that got grabbed by the tentacles, so I'm going to blame her for somehow touching one of them.
Poor Robin. Yeah, that was rough. I don't know why she ran off like that. That was crazy.
No. So, I mean, there's definitely opportunities for others, But those three kind of stand out at the moment as people that I have to see where the rest of this shakes out with. Now, favorite characters, I've got 4 that I've got my eyes on early. It could be more than that, but I've got 4. I'm going to start with just both Lucas and Max.
Yeah.
Love what Lucas and Max are doing. Okay. There's nothing that I dislike about that at all. I have 11. I think 11's got a plan. We haven't really seen it take shape, but the idea that she came up with the idea to like jump in is huge. And so just like the Russian group is attempting to deal with, the particles and the Demogorgons from afar, 11 is also trying to do this from afar. I have Jonathan, because Jonathan's speech was amazing. Loved every single part of it. And, I'm going to put this out there. I have Vecna down.
What the heck?
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. You're not supposed to like Vecna. But Vecna is doing Vecna things. And
Vecna's being all Vecna.
And
all
like,
place.
he is doing things, and he's controlling the people that he needs to control, and he is making this out to be a very interesting finale. He's not going to go down without fighting. That's for sure, because as it seems right now, he's got control of this whole situation, even though they came in with a potentially flawless plan, this band of idiots. So
wait, so are you thinking Vecna because he's going to turn around and be a good guy, or are you just like what he's doing because he's all Vecna?
You can be a favorite character and not be
absolutely
a hero.
You can be a villain favorite character. Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there is an opportunity here. That's all I'm saying.
Like
there's
he's
a
just
chance
being fully Vecna.
That all the things that he did, I go,
Vecna.
Yeah, that was pretty great what he did there. I mean, I'm not a fan of your work, but I am okay with you as a character, for sure.
He loves to stalk around, and he loves to do the creepy finger thing. So
the creepy finger thing
more
is quite amazing.
Yeah, it's his thing.
How about you? You got a list of favorites so far?
The 2 people that stand out to me the most are Eddie and 11.
Eddie, I should have put Eddie on the list. I'm putting Eddie on the list now so I don't forget.
Eddie on the roof, playing his heart out. I mean, and then him just having that moment where he's like, listen, dude, you go to the other side. I have more work to be done here. They're like, those bats are still out there and we have to distract them. And he's doing his Eddie thing. And I think it really stuck with him that after Chrissy died, like he ran because he was afraid and he does not want to do that again. And and so loved him. And 11 just having that thought that like, hey, I can get back there in my own way. I know how to access Max and use my abilities right from where we're at. So that was also really great. And those are the 2 that I'm thinking I'm gonna probably land on. I
have to say, upon the first watching of this, Eddie's rock concert with the bats was maybe the coolest thing that I had seen on television in a long time. It was so awesome that was like true to character, and he did exactly what he's supposed to do, and he executed his part of the plan as best they could. Now, how these guys barricade this entire like camper and decide to leave the vents open, I don't understand. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? These are the weak points. You barricade that more than anything else. But it is what it is.
I'm trying to look up really quick, Eric. There was this. Oh, it was Metallica that they reached out directly saying they loved his performance and they were blown away by the scene of him.
Yes,
so is that
because
him actually playing?
It was him actually playing it. Yeah. No, that was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not like taking the Metallica song.
Wow.
But that was Eddie actually playing it. And so that's how you get Metallica reaching out, because it wasn't, they didn't ask for the music. They like covered it.
They're now calling him the 5th honorary member of Metallica. This is what I'm reading.
And he should be.
Wow. Okay. That I meant to look that up before we even started. I'm like, was that him actually playing, not playing?
Yes.
I
don't think during the taping that was him playing, but they recorded him playing and played it over. You know what I like? They didn't actually play it in that spot.
And I think it looks like Iron Maiden also like reached out and like gave like, there were like all these basically metal bands that were like, we love you, Eddie. Like, we're always with you. Like, reaching out. So cool. Yeah. So this is crossed over into the nerd galaxy, the metal galaxy. Like, this show knows no bounds. It's pretty great.
It really doesn't. And like, that's part of it. Like, I think people who are like metal would not consider themselves nerds, right? But I would argue that if you have they're
a nerd of their own kind.
If you have a passionate hobby about some specific topic, then you are a nerd in that area.
Oh,
and that's
100%.
kind of how I've just like, that's what nerd is.
Yes.
It's just not maybe it's not a typical nerd thing, but that's what you are.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check out our socials, Instagram, YouTube, all the other platforms that are out there. You can subscribe, like, follow all of our postings that are there. We really appreciate the support that we are starting to see so far. Keep a comment, and remember, if you comment, we will absolutely get back to you. If you check out our website, werunonreruns.com, you'll find full episodes of all of our podcasts, and you can find them on Spotify, where you can leave 5 stars, and you can find them on Apple Podcasts. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching the rest of this episode if you haven't already, and tuning in next week for part 2 of the season 4, episode 9 finale. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.